Hi everyone! Today I'm here with my TBR Readathon TBR. If you've never heard of it, I will leave the link to it down below to the announcement video, but it is basically the readathon that I decided to create. It is a 2-month-long readathon starting on the 13th of May, finishing on the 8th of July. Basically, the idea of this readathon is just to read the books that are on your TBR, ideally the physical books that you own, but obviously you can include audiobooks if you want, or e-copies of books that you own. And there are 9 challenges. You don't have to complete them, but it is preferable if you do, because it's more fun. But they're very, very easy challenges, so I'm just going to get through them and tell you what books I'm going to be reading for them. The first challenge is to read a book from the series you're in the middle of. For that I will have several options. So the very first one is Percy Jackson and the Battle of the Labyrinth, the 4th book from the Percy Jackson series. It's been in multiple of my TBRs for the readathons, but I never got around to reading this book. But I think for this readathon I'll definitely have to read it, and if I'm lucky enough and I feel like it, I could finish the series by reading the last book, The Last Olympian, as well. So that would be my series complete, but I'm not sure. My other option could be one of the books that I'm probably going to buy today as my treat for passing the driving test, finally, with 0 minor faults. I was so surprised and happy and shocked, so I'm going to treat myself and go and buy myself a book or 2. So it could be the 2nd book from the the School for Good and Evil series, or another of my options is City of Glass by Cassandra Clare, the 3rd book from the Mortal Instruments series. The second challenge is to read a book you own for a while. For that I could have 2 options as well, but I'm pretty sure that I will choose this one, and that is the Essex Serpent by Sarah Perry. And I've owned this book for less than a year, but I've owned the books that I've owned them for a bit longer than that, but I've decided to go with this one because this one is the one that I'm more excited about. Although my other option could be The Prestige by Christopher Priest. I've had this for more than a year, so I might go with this one. But this one is I think, science fiction about 2 magicians who compete with each other, set in Victorian times, whilst this one is about a myth about the Essex Serpent, which apparently somehow comes to life. So I'm really excited to read this one, although it's quite a long one, but it is a 2-month-long readathon, so I will have plenty of time to read it, hopefully, as well as some other books. So this is most likely going to be the option for that one. The next challenge is to read a book that you got recently, and the most recent book that I got would be The Amazing Maurice and His Educated Rodents by Terry Pratchett. And it is a very, very short book. Obviously, I don't know anything about it apart from that it is, I think, a middle grade book. A fantasy middle grade book set in a disc world, and the main character is a cat. That's all I know about it. Challenge number 4 is to read a short book. For that I decided to go with The Girl of Ink and Stars by Kieran Millwood Hargrave. I've heard really good things about it. It is a YA novel. I'm just going to read you what it is about. Forbidden to leave her island, Isabella dreams of faraway lands her father once mapped. When her best friend disappears, she's determined to be part of the search party. Guided by an ancient map and her knowledge of the stars, Isabella navigates the island's dangerous forgotten territories. But beneath the dry rivers and dead forests, a fearing mist is stirring from its sleep. Sounds creepy but cool, and I'm really excited. Challenge number 5 is to read a long book. For that I decided to go with The Morning Gift by Eva Ibbotson. This was another one of my blind date with a books, and I don't know anything about it apart from that it is a historical fiction that is beautifully written, and it is YA. That is all I know about it, and that is all that I want to know about it. So for that challenge you have to read a book that is over 500 pages or just around that. So if it's just a little bit under, that's alright. Challenge number 6 is to read a book that you're really excited about. The Muse by Jessie Burton. For some reason recently I've been in the mood to read this book, so I think I will be reading it. I've read The Miniaturist by the same author and really enjoyed it, but I had kind of mixed feelings towards it as well. Hopefully this one will be better. It is set in 1967, and all I know is that there is a girl who works in a gallery in London, and then there's a masterpiece appears there, and no one knows anything about it, but one girl does. And I think people are trying to find out why she knows it, or where it came from, or there's some kind of mystery involved in it. So it sounds really good to me, and I am very excited and pretty much in the mood to read this book. I wouldn't be surprised if it will be the first book that I read. The next challenge is to read a book that is out of your comfort zone, or to read a book from a genre that you hardly reach for. Again, for that one I have two options. The first one is the cat guide. I don't always read non-fiction. I am very terrible at reading non-fiction. I'm interested in it, but I'm just lazy, and it takes a lot of effort for me to actually read a non-fiction book. So hopefully for this readathon, it's not a difficult non-fiction book, obviously, because it mostly is pictures of cats and tiny description, and then at the beginning and the end there's just some information about how to take care of your cat and other things. So it wouldn't take me a long time to read it, but still. The second of my options is to read this tiny little poetry book by Alexander Pushkin, which is the Russian poet. I've had this book for quite a while, and it is really tiny. The font is really tiny, so it's definitely out of my comfort zone, and it is the genre that I never read from, because I almost never read poetry, and it is definitely out of my comfort zone. So that's perfect for this challenge. Challenge number 8 is to read a book with a beautiful cover. Lost for Words by Stephanie Butland. The cover is really beautiful. I think it's one of those chick lit books, romance novels books, set in a bookshop, and that's what makes me really interested in it. I think it's going to be really cute, and I'm very much in the mood to read it as well, so it probably will be one of those first books that I read, because that's what I'm definitely planning to be reading for the next 2 months. Well, hopefully it'll take me not a long time, but yeah. Now challenge number 9 is to read 12 books. So other options that I could have for those is this Russian book written in Russian. The author is Georgia Moyes. I don't know the title in English, I really need to research it, but it is obviously a romance novel. I almost never read them, but I got this as a present from my friend from Russia, and I'm actually excited to read it because I'm in the mood for something like that. And considering it is in my native language, I will be able to understand it very easily, and hopefully it will be a very easy read. And it is set in this small tiny shop in which a girl works, and there's some kind of mystery. Another thing that I could be reading is Goodnight Mr. Tom by Michelle McGorry, and I believe it's considered to be kind of a classic, set during the period of World War II, about this boy who is being sent to live in a small village with this old man, and at first he doesn't really want it, but then he gets attached to this man, I think, and it's supposed to be really cute from what I can tell from the blurb of the book. So I'm really excited, and recently I noticed that I really enjoy books set around the Second World War period for some reason, so I really am excited to read this book. I am really excited for my own readathon. I am really excited, and if you want to participate in it as well, please let me know. I'd be so happy if you do. And if you have a TBR for that, please leave it in the comments as well, either the link to your video or the link to your blog, or even a comment with whatever you plan to read for the challenges. If you're going to do the challenges, that's up to you. A few people decided to join, so I'm really happy about that. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.